I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Don't label us left or right. Our American. Not looking for a war, but we came to fight. Our American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Super Dave Show. It's April 13th, and we're ready to go. Let's go loot someplace. Obviously, that's what you do. If you're not happy with a police arrest or whatever, if a thug gets shot, let's have a party. That's what it amounts to in some areas. In Brooklyn Center, I think it's called, Minnesota. It's a suburb of Minneapolis where the trial is going on. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. As an ex-cop, I got to tell you, I don't get it. I don't get it. What the hell is wrong with complying? If you saw the video, and I'll bring the video up. You know, first off, when I was a cop, we didn't have all the crap on you have. I mean, it is unbelievable. All the stuff they're asking police officers to put on their body. I mean, there's a gun. We didn't have a taser. We didn't have much on our belts. It was good. I don't know if I could run around with all that crap on. It is unbelievable. But, you know, the cop apparently. Okay, first off, let me just find it. It'd be easier just to do that. And by the way, I want to talk to you about a deal where one of my listeners was telling me about her son, and her son's in Fox School, and I watched the video, and the teacher is indoctrinating. That's exactly what she's doing. Exactly what she's doing. And you people didn't show up because you think the schools are okay? I don't know. You help me. I don't get it. But the teacher is indoctrinating the kids, basically, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, just the things she just kept saying. It was like she was talking to her friends. And she just had to say, it looked like she had been watching the news the night before, the month before, whatever. And all she's doing is relaying the news to you. Good morning, Mr. Ronnie, Elizabeth, all my good friends out there. Yeah, that's all she's doing. And I'm watching this, is like, I can never remember a class in school being like this. And I guess I was in high school? It doesn't matter. I mean, there's, you know, we talk politics. If I remember correctly, now I have to go back a long way. But if I remember correctly, we talked politics, but we really didn't talk about current politics. We talked about what happened 50 years ago, 100 years ago, something like that. Because the other stuff wasn't in the book. If it wasn't in the book, you didn't teach it. I may have mentioned something, but that was about it. But honestly, I don't remember. Maybe it was. Maybe I was like a lot of high school kids. I don't remember what the hell happened in high school. I was just too busy having fun and chasing girls. That was it. I want to find the video though. I'm just amazed. I am amazed. Honest to God, I am amazed because I have seen. You know, now it's, you know, it's legal for the thugs to loot. It's legal. You can burn down whatever you want to burn down. You can burn down precincts. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't make a difference. And you know what gets me? Is the leftist politicians are not being held responsible. They're the ones that really push this. Now Now, Donald Trump gave a speech on January 6th and said, peacefully go to the Capitol. And, of course, Antifa was waiting. They went there, and they caused all kinds of havoc. Some of the Trump supporters got involved, but it wasn't a huge deal. But, you know, if there was anybody that died within 5 miles of there, it was because of the riot. I mean, that's what they're saying it was. And I don't know where the hell to go anymore. I really don't. I'm just lost. And every time we turn around, there's something going on, and I really don't know what to do. Twin crier. Folks, I mean, I really. Oh, and I mean, I want to get back to a lot of things. I'm just kind of giving some. I'll get more detail on some of them, but yeah, we got the good morning, Mr. Means. We have people in the schools indoctrinating the kids, and we have voters that don't show up for elections. Hey, Ronnie, you were telling me how many people. What was your percentage down there showed up for elections last week? I got to be honest. I was so pissed off last Tuesday after the election, and I see the percentage. I was two things. I was pissed off, and I was hurt. I was hurt because I'm looking at these people. Super D68, interesting. I was looking at these people that were complaining about the schools, and they never bothered to show up. I must respect the left's double standards because they're in charge. Yeah, it was 8%. 8% of the people. That's all it was. So people really are pissed off about it, aren't they? Yeah, whatever. That's it. And then, as I said, I'm going to mention again, for those who don't know, and veteran, I don't think you were here yesterday, are the chair of the Republican Party in Jefferson County gave money to two people on the that were running for school board. Both of them liberals. I'm dead serious. Yeah, 1,250 out of. You know, it's so sad. I have some info about the health department, what she's paid. Are you talking about the CARES money? Not the CARES money, but the contact tracing? Yeah, contact tracing is the biggest farce I've ever seen in my life. I mean, honest to God, who came up with this? Like, hey, let's come with an idea, and we'll get all their money. And I actually have a bill. Is that what you're talking about? I'm all over the place this morning because there's so much to talk about. Let's go talk to a reporter. Let's go. How about this? The reporters go to a press conference, and instead of listening and taking what they're being told and reporting to the news to their viewers or listeners, this Brooklyn Center police chief comes out and let me go there. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play a part here. Let me see. Let me give me a second here. All right, we'll go ahead and take this call. Good morning, Miss Linda. What's on your mind?
Oh, have I got some information for you and your listeners?
Go ahead. We're ready.
So I know somebody that you know, and she and I got together last night, and we were talking. Our wonderful health department since October, and this only included 1 week in October, 10 days, up until January has spent over $1 million on contact tracing. Some months have been like November and December have been like over $700,000. And now they've rented a Shop and Save in Crystal City, and they have put all kinds of workers in there to wait for all these people that are going to sign up for the vaccination.
Yep.
So no one is coming. They're just sitting there twiddling their thumbs because nobody is signing up for it. Nobody's coming, or very few are coming to get the vaccination, and they're putting out $660,000 a month in salaries.
You know, and, let's not forget, wait, for those of you listening now, this is Jefferson County. This is what they're doing with the money here. Plus, they just bought 7+ acres, and we don't know why, in Hillsboro for over $750,000. They obviously love spending your money.
Oh, they do. And let's remember that there is no more CARES money left. They're done. So this will be coming out of the taxpayers' pockets, the same taxpayers/voters that only came out, what was the percentage?
8.2%.
Because they don't want to get out of bed and go and vote. They don't want to get out of their chair and take 5 minutes to go and vote. So they're going to be paying for all of this because there is no CARES money left, people. This is going to come directly out of your pockets, out of my pockets. And, you know, a lot of people are working from home right now, so it's not even a real big issue to go and vote and come back home. And if you really care about your country and your community, you will do what you need to do to get rid of this crap. And that's what this is crap.
We allow it to happen, just like you said.
Yes.
And you know, it's funny because after last Tuesday, I think you're one of the people that knew why I was just livid. Because I looked at the vote totals and like, we worked our butts off, and we get 8% of the people. You people out there that tell me you care so much, you people out there are so mad because Trump lost and cheated, you're going to do what it takes. You don't even bother to show up to vote. I was livid. Yep.
I know. It's terrible. I was at one of the locations for Northwest School District at the Northwest Early Childhood. There was nobody there. I'm telling you, in the 2 hours that I sat there maybe came a half a dozen people to vote, much less to have anybody work at the polls. Yes. I mean, where was all these real Republicans? Where are all you people?
Yep.
I mean, you're spending the time to get involved in a group that is active and we want to do something, and then you don't show up.
Yep.
For the first real test of you being active in the real Republicans. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you coming to the meetings? Why are you talking about wanting to be active and I don't see you out there? And don't give me I don't want to hear the excuses because I work a job and I run a company and I have a life too. So, but I still make the time to get out there and work.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. It's frustrating for those of us that are putting our time in, and it's like, I know you agree with it. One of the things I say when you watch the show, because one of the things I tell people is they say, well, somebody needs to do something. I go, well, let's correct what you're saying here. What you're really saying is somebody else needs to do something. That's what we have to get out of our vocabulary. Until then, nothing's going to change.
I'm tired of it. And while you weren't on, Dave, I listened to Jamie's show, and there were some people on there commenting, and they were complaining about politics. And I got on there and I said, did you vote? Did you vote on Tuesday? Oh, no. This and that. I'm like, well, then you have nothing to say. Shut up. I don't want to hear about it because you don't have a right to complain. If you're not out there voting and helping good candidates get elected, you don't have the right to complain. And yes, I'm saying it because I've been out there for like 10 years in Jefferson County, busted my butt to get people into office. And yes, I've run campaigns. I've done lit drops. I've done it all. I've done all kinds of, events to raise money for these people. Where is everyone? the nerve to complain. And I got into it with a lady on Jamie's program, and she and I got into it, and she said, well, you just don't know. I said, I do know. I do know. What do you mean I don't know? I know all about it.
Yeah, it's hard to respect other people when they don't bother to show up or help with their money or time. It doesn't. It's hard to respect them, and I don't.
Right.
So.
And I agree, and I go into work, I have to be at work every day. I have to work, I've been working since I was 15. If you don't watch it, we're going to end up like the city is. And the city is a dump. I know, because I work down here. So, and it's a dump. And we've got businesses closing all over Missouri. Now, since we got Biden in office, we got companies leaving the United States to go work to start their businesses in Mexico.
Yep,
you're losing your country, people, and you're laying in bed and giving excuses as to why you can't save it. So, and it's happening, and your grandkids are going to pay for it, and your kids are going to pay for it. They're never going to get to retire. Our age will get to retire, but the future generations are not going to, because they're going to have to pay for all this. We're owned by China right now. China could call us our note tomorrow, and we're screwed.
Oh yeah, we're talking trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and people don't even realize it. They think it's no big deal. And what do? They sit at home and they go, "Where's my $1,400 check?"
Right.
I for the life of me, the other day when we were somewhere, Charlie, I don't know why. The other day when we were at VFW, some of the people there agreed with me. And I said, there is no reason for retired people to get a check. There's no reason for a lot of people to get a check. There's no reason for illegals to get a check. I have a story here that says about people who got checks and the IRS are asking them to return them. It's like, wait a minute. And then when you see who they are, they're ineligible to begin with. So my question is, why were they sent out to begin with? When you give it to an illegal, you just know for a fact that they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, here's your check back. In fact, I just read somewhere where they're giving like almost $16,000 to illegals to, when they get here to locate in an area. I was always wondering how they were going to get by. Now I've seen where they're going to give them like $15,000.
They're putting them in hotels.
Yes.
They're putting them in hotels, and they're making our armed services guys sleep in garages.
Yes.
And and the veterans that have served in the past, served our country, are homeless and living in alleys, and they have all these mental problems. But I'll be damned if we're not putting illegal aliens in a freaking hotel.
Yep.
And I'm amazed. I'm amazed that people are clueless about all this.
But Linda,
and watching it,
they sit back and go, wow, somebody else needs to do something. It's time, folks. What the hell are you waiting for? That's why I get livid. It's like, it's not time for speeches. This is where I really lose it. It's not time for speeches.
Right.
It's not time to say, well, let's have a get-together, and we have 4 or 5 speakers, and they all get up there and say really cool crap. I almost said something else. Right. I could say it anyway. And then you leave and go home and say, well, when's the next rally? We're done with rallies. Our rally needs to be on the streets every day. Our rallies need to be to get the right people elected. My God, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. I really don't.
I know. I put a lit drop together the Saturday before the election. I put it together. Do you know how many people besides you and I and Wendy and the candidates showed up? 2 extra people. Out of all these people and real Republicans, I thought we had over 300 members.
We have
and 2 people show up?
We have 1,000 members.
1,000 members?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yep, we have.
And 2 people show up for a lit drop to cover Fox School District and Northwest School District. I guess we didn't have any in the other school district.
No, we didn't.
So, and I'm like, where is everybody? I put it together. I mean, we met at different locations so that you could in the morning, and that's what we did.
It's
And and 2 extra people showed up. Really?
yeah. It's not rocket science, and then I feel bad for the candidates and us because
Right.
then they wouldn't even bother to show up to. So that's why I just look at it and go, well, let's get used to socialism, and people go, oh, I'll never do that. You are, because you're sitting on your butts doing nothing.
Yes, you will. You're already used to it because everybody's walking around with masks on. You know, I had to laugh last night. I went into Schnucks up in Eureka, and I laughed because there was a robot checking the amount of inventory on each shelf. I'm like, well, there went a couple, 2 or 3 people's jobs. Bam, right out the door.
They won't show up.
A robot.
Anyway. They won't show up anyway. That's part of the issue. People are sitting home. They're getting checks for staying home. They're getting extra unemployment for staying home. I mean, that's what we've done. We've made our society, our populace so lazy. And look, for you people out there that are saying, well, that's ridiculous. Where the hell were you? Everyone's pointing somewhere else. Where the hell were you last Tuesday in the election? Where were you? Ronnie, how many people showed up at yours? He's down in Southwest Missouri. I'm just curious. I heard it was like 4%, 5%. I mean, why don't we just call? You know what? Why don't we just call the elections off and be done with it?
I know. Just let the Chinese come on in. Let them come on in.
Well,
I mean, we're being run by some old man that all he can think about is little baby girls so he can touch them. And people are not up in arms about this. And Kamala Harris, who's a hooker, she slept her way to where she is right now. And they stole the election right in front of our eyes, and nobody does anything. And we all just sit back and watch it. So you know what? We deserve what we get. Unfortunately, we're handing it down to our children and our grandchildren and future generations. So all of you that did not show up for the election and did not come out and vote and did not come out and work, you ought to be ashamed. And I'm with Dave. I'm so sick of it because I've been watching it for years and years. And look what our country is being run by. And all of you just sit at home. Makes me sick to my stomach. And I've been doing it for 10 years. I don't make a dime off of this. I never have.
Well, the hardest job I have is get out there and say you need to go real Republicans. And it's the same people that are doing the work, generally. And there are some people that can't, and I get that. But, it's generally the people do work that are funding it. And the rest of them are saying, hey, would you approve my post in Facebook? I'm dead serious. I don't even waste my time. I'm serious. I've been trying to get my post approved. It's like, who the hell are you?
I know.
Oh, Ronnie says he was at a polling place 3 hours, had 34 people vote.
I don't doubt it. I know, because where I was, nobody came. So.
Yeah. But they're all concerned. That's why you had to laugh when I told the story of the woman 3 weeks ago when I was at Jefferson County Republican Club that said, oh, no, the people are really mad and they're going to start doing stuff and everything else. I'm here. And I was like, what world do you live in? You don't have a clue what the hell you're talking about. But she was...
10 years, do you know how many times I've heard that bullshit?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how many times I've heard it? And it's bull. It's bull. And I'll say to them, okay, well, we're having an event. Would you like to come to the event and raise some money? And they never show up. Oh, sure. What time are you? When is it starting? What date is it? Where is it? They get you all the information. They get all the information from you. Oh, for sure. I'll see you there. I'll be there. And no, they don't never show up.
Oh, yeah. I'm really interested. Let me have your card, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like contact. I mean, you contact them and they don't get back with you. So,
But they'll all be at the meeting in another couple of weeks, Dave. They'll all be there so they can sit around and talk bullshit. And they'll all be yapping. I want to do this and I want to do that. And then when it comes down to really doing it, how many of us showed up? 5, 6?
Hey, when we have the meeting, should I take a show of hands of how many people actually voted?
Yeah, really. I think you should. Seriously.
And for those of you that didn't bother, not the candidates Ronnie asked if we have any wins. In the candidates we were that we were promoting no, but that's because the chair of the Republican Party was giving money, and so were the other people. I'm sure giving money to the Democrats. I'm dead serious.
Well, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
and why aren't we up in arms about that? Why aren't we going after the Central Committee for that?
oh,
That is atrocious. They threw, as I said yesterday, Charles Huey off because he supported a candidate that was running as a Democrat. And and bam, they had him out of that Central Committee. I remember because I was coming into the Central Committee as they were throwing him out. So I remember how they couldn't believe that he supported a Democrat. They couldn't believe it.
No doubt.
I remember George and Janet talking about it for weeks.
Well, that's what happens, and people, if they don't change, 16% registered voted, Perry County voted. I will say, in the rural areas, they are a hell of a lot better about showing up to vote than the metro areas, unless it's Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was on the ballot, I've said for a long time that Donald Trump got all the votes. Not necessarily for him, but he got a lot of votes against him. But none of them were for Biden. They were to get rid of Donald Trump or keep Donald Trump. That's all it was.
And I don't know if you noticed, if you watched the election results Tuesday night, but I noticed, not so much in our area, but in like the city and the county, how many tax levies and how many tax bills passed. That's why they put it on these sort of elections so that they can get them passed. I mean, there were tons. I couldn't believe it, one right after the other.
And that could be changed by the legislature, but this is where we're trying to teach people that just because they have an R next to their name doesn't mean squat, because those R's right now should be going, we don't need to have an election where 8% of the people show up. Let's go ahead and put it in August or general election, whatever. Let's do it then with the rest of it. Why do we need to have it when people aren't showing up? Granted, the people should show up. And by the way, Ronnie, just so you know, the reason we have any wins is because in these elections, the NEA makes sure that all their people get out and vote because they know that the conservatives are too damn lazy to get off their asses to go there. That's exactly what it amounts to. So,
and if we had the voters come out and do their job and do what they're supposed to do, we would win, because Dan Smith has run against the NEA before, and he's a Republican, and he has won. And that was the days when more people, it was like 12 to 13%. It was no freaking 8%, but he did win. So you can win if you get the voters out there.
I'm not a big Dan Smith fan. I like Dan as a person.
Well, I'm not either, but Dave. But I mean, he won against the unions. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he was with the unions. I don't know. I'm just when they told me that the little deal they have, for those of you who don't know, this is what they do in a lot of school districts. If they have they'll vote on an issue. They'll have a pre-vote, and everybody, say the pre-vote. Say there are 7 people on the board, and 5 vote for something and 2 vote against something. Well, that's the pre-vote. Then they have the real vote, and the other 2 that voted no are expected to vote along with them, so they walk out of the room in unison. That's the garbage that they pull. It's ridiculous.
It is. It's all ridiculous, but we're getting what we deserve because we really don't. People really don't care.
No, they don't.
And you're talking to an audience, I know, but at the same time, still we have the majority that just could care less.
Nope.
I mean, they really could care less.
Nope, you're right. So, you're right. Okay, well, I'm going to go on to something else here, but thank you for calling.
All right, Dave.
I appreciate it.
All right, have a good day.
All righty.
Bye.
Okay, I got some video I want to show you here, and I couldn't set it up until she was gone. Not that what she's saying. I want you to see this video. This is of the Dante, who their latest victim is. The latest victim. That's what I like. And I want you to see this because this is what happened. Now, as an ex-police officer, I can tell you right now, former police officer, you just comply, and he starts to comply. By the way, he was a father and a gangbanger. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and see this real quick because I think you'll be amazed. You will be amazed. No, you won't. You won't be amazed, though. You won't be amazed. Here we go. Now they're talking to him at the car. He gets out. He's complying. Now watch this. Everything's good. Everything's good. Now if you listen to the news, you won't hear this next part. All of a sudden he gets out, he jumps in the car. It's hard to see. He gets in the car. The gal thinks she's got a taser. She's got a gun, and she shoots him. He takes off. Now, it was a big mistake. It was a big mistake. Make the mistake about it. Let me get back to my screen here. But if he would have just complied and been done with it, this would be over. But no. Let's go ahead and try to run away. You know, bad things happen. You know, I grew up in the hood. And this is the difference in the hood today compared to the way it was. This is why I know what the hell I'm talking about. Back in the day, back when I was growing up, in fact, before I was even a cop, when you got stopped, you complied. And you knew as a criminal, you knew as somebody that wasn't doing the right thing, that bad things could happen. That you may get the hell beat out of you, all kinds of things. You knew something would happen. You knew that on the streets. It was part of the deal. If you're going to be a gangbanger, that's part of the deal. That's how it works. Well, now it's called, I'm just going to get run away, and they're going to have to catch me, even though they got me, the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead, I'll punch, I'll do whatever it takes. Oh, well, he didn't punch. It doesn't matter. If he would have stood there, complied, been done. Oh, but the bullshit they try to pull is, yeah, but they may go ahead and shoot him in the car. Don't run away. It's not that hard. Oh, I'm telling you. It's just amazing. I'll go through some of the other stuff too here that I'm getting up there. Anyway, it's not that hard. So now the thugs in this other city, this suburb of Minneapolis, as they have the trial about the George Floyd thing, now they think they have a right to go ahead and loot and everything else. What's really funny is AT&T gave Black Lives Matter tons of money, and they looted their store. Oh, I think it was Black Lives Matter. Or I think it was AT&T. I'm not sure. But this is the kind of stupidity that goes on. And by the way, I want to go back to this again. When they started interviewing, I'm not going to play the interview. When they started interviewing the chief, he starts talking about the riot, and the reporter corrects him and says there was no riot. Well, let me see. Was there a riot? Well, let me see. They were jumping up and down on cars. They were throwing bricks at them. You know, what the hell's a riot to these people? You know what a riot should be? I'll tell you what we should do. Oh, wait a minute. If I do this, I'll get in trouble. No, this is what, this needs to be done. I won't say we should do. This needs to be done. And the left is already doing it to some extent. When the reporters open their big mouth instead of asking questions, instead of correcting, they should be asking questions. You know, if they start doing that, just beat the hell out of them. It's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So anyway, here we are. We have all these things going on. And the Major League political is in it again. The NBA, the NHL, and Major League Baseball teams, they postponed their money games out of respect following the shooting of Dante Wright. Yes, following the shooting of Dante Wright, who was obviously just out of Sunday school. He was a Sunday school teacher. That's what they like you to think he was. He was a gangbanger. Minnesota Twins, Minnesota Wild, Minnesota Timberwolves postponed game scheduled for Monday. Minnesota Twins said it was out of respect for the tragic events that occurred. Now, how pissed are for people this stuff's going on? Let me see. Let's go to what some of these people are saying. In Branson, the movers and shakers got their butt kicked last week. In 2019, the mayor beat his opponent 780 to 750. This time, he beat her 525 to 518. They still lost. I mean, still won. A newcomer got to the show, got to show a lot of church people who are fed up. The mask mandate, more than two. It's just unbelievable. Well, Candace, they put those there on purpose. All school districts. She said Fox is guilty of that too. All school districts have it then. That can be changed in the state legislature, and that's what it should be done. But they don't want to do that because they realize this is why. Yeah, that's good. I like the only white people riot. This is why, because since so many Republicans, phony Republicans, cater to the NEA, which should be, we have some on our own like Becky Ruth and Elaine Gannon. There's a rep and a senator there right there. There's plenty more who cater to them. They don't want to do anything to hurt the NEA. They really couldn't care less what they're teaching in the schools because the NEA is taking care of them. So the NEA shows up for the elections. Of course, it's nonpartisan. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. All right, let me get to what Ronnie was saying here. Where were you here? Hold on one second. I want to find this. What he was saying. At one polling place, okay, 16%. Okay, and there was 16%. Okay, here we go. Bradley Jackson won the Ozark mayor. 71% of the vote. Oh, I like that. Only white people riot. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Black people have liberals. Let's put it that way because there's a lot of white liberals there too. White liberals only mostly peaceful protests. and Trump supporters just riot. We riot. Yeah, I remember the riot of January 6, 2021. Yeah, they called that a riot. It became a riot because Antifa was there. That's why. But I want to go back to what Linda was saying. So we have all this stuff going on. And I even have people who voted for Trump telling me how pissed off they are. And we need to do something. Where the hell were you? Honest to God, where the hell were you? Now, I want to give everybody who watches this show kudos, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of the other shows that go on, and I don't care, if people want to watch them, that's fine. A lot of the other shows, they don't go after the people who are guilty. They go at, they play this, here's what they do. They play the left-right game that the Republican National Committee does, that I get letters on all the time. Yes, we have to go after Nancy Pelosi. They're not going to say much about Mitch McConnell right now, so it's we. And the Republican National Committee is there to help you. Yes, they weren't there to help you in the last election. They weren't there to help with the voter fraud. They weren't but they're there now to collect your money. Because at the end of each one of these, can you give 25, 50, 100, maybe even more money? Can you give it to us? Well, Candace, that all sounds good. She says, after what happened, the NEA needs to go. I'm going, I'm looking, excuse me. I'm looking for people with stories with kids that had teachers to impart their politics. And I'm going to tell you right now, never, ever go by what they look at you and they say, wow, that's really bad. We don't like that. That really bothers us. That really bothers, because what they do is they show you concern. It's a sell job. I'm not saying every one of them, but most of them do that. Trust me. That's what they do. That's what they do best. So they look at you and you go, no, that should never happen in a classroom. And then they go back to the teacher and they go, hey, you got a student in there, that's doing this. If it's on there, don't do that. Look, you know we're behind you, but just be a little more careful because we got some nutcase parent. That's what they're telling her probably. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine, but I would almost bet you that's what it is, because I know a lot of teachers and I have anyway. I just know how it works. The biggest thing is I know politics, and if you think anybody in a school board gives a damn, they don't. If there's someone that does, they'll give you lip service. Yes, that shouldn't happen. Oh no, that teacher needs to be reprimanded. In the back of their mind, they're going, "Way to go, baby! Way to go!" Oh, just don't let mama see it. That's all. Hey, there's even some places where they say, we don't want any parents watching this. This is between us and the kids. Oh, yes. They tell the kids that. It's between us and this is ours. Shut the door. We don't need your parents there telling you because we have all the answers. You're going to petition together, sign people, demand the board put a no politics in the classroom. I'm not trying to pick on you, Candace. That sounds great. But it all starts from within. And you can put that in place and the whole thing. And until you get, I learned this a long time ago. This is why I started Real Republicans. You can go ahead and tell the very people who are guilty of it to stop doing it. They're going to do it anyway. It happens all the time. Look at it. You can tell the very people who have voter fraud, you're bad, you shouldn't do that, and they'll find another way to get around it. Yeah, it's just sad. I'm telling you, folks, it's just one of those things that if we don't change what we're doing, it's over. I mean, it really is over. But like Linda said, we do things and nobody wants to help. So, honestly, with a clear mind, I could walk away tomorrow knowing that I did everything I could, but other people won't even try. We have, like Linda said, you're out there, you're trying to get flyers out, whatever, you're trying to meet people, whatever, and everyone's too busy. Apparently, I'm not too busy. I own a business. I'm retired. I'd love to do other things, but I can't do it. We wanted to go to Florida a few weeks ago. We didn't go because she was running for election. Yeah. So our life stopped, but everyone else has kept going. And when I mentioned that I was so close to giving up, maybe somebody else will run it. I got some really nice letters from people, but I want to see people follow through. Some emails, this, hey Dave, don't do this, please. We need you there. We need you there. Well, we need you there too. Well, that's part of the game, Ken. And she goes, I agree, it starts from within. However, I want them to abide by the fake sign they put up next to yours. Yeah, it was a fake sign. We don't want politics in the classroom. I would love to find out who did that. I really would. Now I have some ideas here, and I'm going to bring them up at the next meeting, and I want to see what you people think about it right now. The biggest reason, and I want to put this exactly how it is, the biggest reason shitheads get elected is because people don't know who they are. And so I want some of my friends, my good Facebook friend, my friends, show friends, my real Republican friends, to help start doing the research on the very people in positions, to do the research on the very people who run for elections. You know, like I did. I just did a little bit of research, and I found out that our chair of the Republican Central Committee here gave money to liberals, didn't give any to anybody else. I want to know why. I do know one thing, Jim. I know why you were so adamant about saying this is a nonpartisan election. We shouldn't be involved. What that was is this is the established Republican. This is the phony Republicans' way of saying, well, I say I don't want liberals to get elected, but since this is nonpartisan, I'm going to close my eyes and let them get elected. It doesn't matter what happens to our kids. How anybody could have voted for any of these losers who are allowing our kids to be used like garbage. That's what it amounts to. Used like garbage. I don't get. I really don't get. And I know, and I know one of the reasons why my show isn't as popular, because I call people out. But I will never stop. I will never stop. And if people don't like it, I tell them, turn it off. That's it. If you don't want to watch it, turn it off. I don't care. It's crazy. Now, we have all the, MSNBC. I love this. Films, they're filming thugs looting Dollar Tree. Then they attack MSNBC on TV. Yes, that's what they do. Let's attack them. Let's see what they're doing here.
Full of stuff, and you can see people going in and out. But let's focus back there on the police department, because people are going to come in if we're seeing this happening here. So over there, you can see the police, after hours of being patient, I guess you could say, they started firing tear gas. The crowd is now dispersing, but they're not going home, Rachel. They're still here in the streets. They're still here. They're still here. Okay, easy. Come on, easy. What happened? Tell me what happened.
Yeah, the police are now firing on homes. Homes that are just across the street that have nothing to do with nothing. I'm here to go. The report all day in D.C.
Okay.
No.
You notice his mask is down too? I'm waiting for somebody to complain about that. Now, let me ask everybody here. Seriously, let me ask everybody. The woman is upset because they started shooting tear gas. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. What the hell are they waiting for? They're looting the stores, and they're like, we're entitled to do that. They're entitled right now because of what the left and the media has done. They are entitled to do whatever the hell they want. They are. They're entitled to do that. Portland police declare riot. You better watch how you say that. The media won't like that. As protesters vow to burn precinct down. Isn't this great? This is why we live in America. Yes. In the meantime, I'm sitting in my chair in my backyard, and I'm not paying attention to anything. As much as you may not like to watch the news, you better start watching the news. You better, out of sight, out of mind. So when you don't pay attention to what they're teaching the kids at school, you don't show up to vote. When you don't pay attention to all the burning and all the stuff going on, you don't show up to vote, or you don't even bother to find out who's running or what they're doing. I can't imagine why this is going on. Elizabeth asks, is there still a mask mandate in Branson? From what I understand, there is. And I don't know if there is going to be more, but there is one. But the most people, from what I understand, aren't wearing them. I don't know about the shows. You know what? I wonder. I got friends Let me see if I can get I want to see if I can get a hold of one of my friends and ask if they have a face mandate. I'll text them. One of the Hughes brothers is a good friend of mine, and I want to ask them if they still have a mandate there. Let me find out here. Let me find out. That would be interesting because I don't know. Let me see. Does anybody want to know Jason's number? Jason Hughes' number? Okay. Let me see. Do you have to? Let me see. Do you have to wear a mask when you are in your theater? Question mark. My viewers are asking. Question mark. Let's see if he answers. There you go. I love talk to text. Gets me in trouble all the time, but I love talk to text. See if he answers here. I don't know if he gets up early or whatever. Knowing Jason, he probably does, but who knows? Let's see. What? I guess the problem with talk to text is you got to stop it from doing it. You ever do that talk to text? You do talk to text, and all of a sudden, I read that you do have to wear masks during the show. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Brass Band ends at the end of May. Well, you know what, Ronnie? They have the mandate. I understand that Ronnie lives down in Ozark, which isn't too far away. But I understand they have the mandate, but I understand half the people aren't wearing masks. I don't know. But the CDC and FDA recommend a pause in Johnson & Johnson vaccine over 6 rare blood clotting issues. Well, but you know what? I want to act like one of the lefties here, one of the vaccine lovers. But I'd rather have a blood clot than die of COVID, which has a 99.9% cure rate. That's where we are right now, folks. We have all these people out there who are all concerned about COVID. Yeah. Man cusses out. Ooh, I gotta see this. Man cusses out CNN on live television for making things worse as community gets destroyed. This could be interesting.
That is all tear gas.
Hold on a second here. Let me get this because some of these are actually pretty funny. I laugh at these. I don't mean to. I laugh at them because it's ridiculous, and I want to know which video is going to finally get somebody upset to where they're going to actually help. That's the key right there. So let's go ahead and watch this.
That is all tear gas, and it is extremely strong. If you look just now, I'm going to try to sort of stand the street a little bit. You look there. Now you can see.
Y'all be twisting up the story.
You want to talk to me? Okay, cool. Don't take my mic. Okay. What's your name?
What's my name? My name is my name.
All right, so tell me what you think about what's going on here.
What I think about this is all the press and all the extra shit y'all do makes this worse.
You think so?
Yes. When people want to protest, they shouldn't do it in front of a fucking police. Courthouse. Shit like that. You get what the fuck I'm saying?
I want you to be careful. I really do.
Of what?
Of anything that can hit you. Of anything that can hit you. Look at all the stuff. Of this.
Of what?
Of this.
Do it look like I'm scared?
No, you don't.
Do it look like I'm scared?
You don't.
Exactly. Y'all need to get up out of here with all that twisting up the media and shit.
Okay.
Real shit.
You don't know me, but we're going to get to know each other. That's
We're
what
gonna get to know each other.
Yes, we are.
Let's see.
We are.
How you gonna know me?
We're going to talk. I'm going to share a
let's
number
go.
with you. All right, let's do it.
No, let's do it right
Let's
here.
do it. All right, here's my phone. Let's go ahead and share
camera.
the
I'll
number.
talk about something that's real.
Tell me what's
Y'all
real.
just gonna edit out the shit.
We're live.
And then y'all gonna edit out some other shit.
We're live.
We're not fucking live.
I'm live right now.
I don't care if you live or not.
Okay,
Get away from here with all that media shit that y'all doing.
Right now.
Look.
We're with CNN.
Then take that camera all the way the fuck up there
We are
then.
going up there.
Take it all the way the fuck up
told
there.
us.
Y'all doing all the extra shit for the backhand shit to make people look all crazy
We're
than what the
going
fuck
up
they
there.
are.
All right, then you watch us because
Take
that's
your
where
ass
we're
up
going.
there.
All right, so everybody's
Oh, you have to admit, that was good. That was good. I like that. Oh. You know what? I got to give the guy credit. He said it the way it was. He really did. You need to get rid of that stuff. Hey, because that's what they're doing. You know, it's like, hey, we're going to be on TV tonight. Think about it. We're going to be on TV tonight. You know, it used to be, you better watch it. You're going to be on TV, and the authorities are going to find you. Oh, that's only if it's only if you're a Trump supporter. The authorities are going to find you and arrest you. Oh, no, they're not going to arrest us because we got Kim Gardner. We got all these loser district attorneys there that let us do what the hell we want. Oh, God. I thought she was going to talk about the language. But she goes, oh, no, I don't want you to get hit. Yeah, I love what else she says. Why don't you go up there? Let me tell you something. A few years ago when Jason Stockley, if you're not from St. Louis, Jason Stockley was a cop that this idiot district attorney tried to bring back, even though the previous one said it wasn't going anywhere, bring back and cause trouble. And I actually went there. They were it was after what they had something going on that night. I actually kind of snuck myself in and walked with the crowd in the. I mean, I was maybe I was stupid, but I don't care. But I walked with the crowd that was the protest crowd. I walked with them, and I was looking for something. There was stuff happening, but it was just because I walked with the crowd. I didn't stand 500 feet away. I walked with them. I was armed. Trust me, I was armed. But still, it was one of those things I wasn't going to be afraid. Squad leader Rashida Tlaib calls for complete anarchy, demands no more police or prisons following Dante Wright's death. The other countries send their Muslims and their losers here. They get elected on the Democrat side. We don't show up for elections, and we can't figure out what's going on here. I mean, what do you want? You want a map? I'm dead serious. They are destroying our country while people sit back and say, I'm not going to pay attention. You better start paying attention. This is coming to your area. And I tell you right now, most people don't start paying attention until it happens to them. They don't. Out of sight, out of mind. It's not, yes, it's only down there. It's coming to your area. Don't think it won't. When you have the very people we have in charge, Biden, Kamala Harris, and the rest of them, and they're going to come and get your guns. There's a lot of people out there that say they're not going to get my guns. They can get your guns. I want everybody to understand they can get your guns. I know I got all kinds of tough people out there. If they want your guns, they can get them. Anybody, Ronnie, you are one of the most straightforward people there are. If the military wanted to come to your house and get your guns, you either give them up or you're dead. Would that be accurate? It really isn't that hard to figure out, is it? It really isn't that hard to figure out. But the BLM protesters now are everywhere. They're everywhere, and they're all about Dante. Doesn't matter he was a thug and a gangbanger. It doesn't matter he didn't comply. He tried to run away. It's time for a riot, and you're going to sit on your couch and do nothing. That's why I lose it. I really lose it. I saw this the other day. You remember the deal where Joe Biden was sitting in Ukraine and he said, "You're not getting your money unless you fire that prosecutor." He was withholding the money, right? Well, Biden withholding $150 million from Ukraine. Wonder what kind of trouble Hunter's gotten into is what that says. It just, there you go. We have allowed the thugs, the Democrat Party, the phony Republicans, we have allowed them to take over, and we don't even show up to vote. It doesn't matter. It's only the teachers. It's only those kids that we say are so precious. You know, I remember back in the 90s when the Clintons started this children garbage. It's for the children. That's why one of the people that was running for elections for the kids, it made me sick to my stomach to read that. And that was, I don't know if he's a conservative or not. All I know is he wasn't a very good candidate. Anyway, no offense to him. When it's for the kids, when it's for the children, trust me on this, it's not a good thing. You know, here's one for you. Joe Biden calls for a full-blown investigation of Dante Wright's shooting after police chief says Officer X. The police chief got out there and said exactly what happened. You know, I'm telling you, folks, it's real easy if you've never been a cop. You got all this equipment on your belt. I mean, you got everything. And you think everything's easy. I mean, I always ask people, if the police are so bad, why don't you go ahead and join? Why don't you go ahead and say, you know, I want to be a better police officer. That's what I'd like to see. But we don't have that. You know, the losers on the left only complain about it. Or why don't they be honest about it and say, we don't want police? If you don't want police, what you saw is coming to your neighborhood. And you have a lot of people in office today, and more. Look, I just said, Tlaib just said, she wants to get rid of the police. I mean, this is where we are. And 8% of the people vote. I keep bringing this up. People wonder why I get so frustrated sometimes. That's why. That's exactly why. I got to take a break. I got to tell you, I take blood pressure medicine because of this. As a big problem with this approach would be willing to see these groups to enforce unconstitutional laws and turmoil this could be as a result. Let's get to this. The involuntary confiscation of American citizens' guns would essentially require the use of either law enforcement, military, or both. It would. But my question to you, how easy, if the military came to your house, as they can, we've seen it. Look at this. They went to Roger Stone's house. They went some of the people's houses that were involved in the fracas that happened on January 6th. They came there. They surrounded the house. And that was just a minor thing. They could really make it major. So I guess my question to you, Ronnie, how hard would it be if you were, okay, put yourself back where you were. If you were in the service and you had, and it was like they have guns at this place, how hard would it be for you to go one house and you got all the soldiers you want? How hard would it be for you to go in there and confiscate all those weapons? That's my question. Dead serious. That's my question. How hard would it be? Think about it, because I want to take a break here. I'm going to actually do some Lee Greenwood. Let me see. Where are we here? Get my favorite one. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Okay. All right. We're gonna take a break here. Yeah, it would be nothing. You get your ass kicked is what I'm saying. Am I right? It'd be over. I mean, it'd be over before it got started. That's my point. And I understand, you know what? It's a hell of a lot easier to stop it from happening. That is my real point. That's my real point. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and do some Lee Greenwood. I'll be back in a few. You're watching the Super Dave Show.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless, please bless the USA.
Alrighty. There you go. That makes the day brighter always. I just wish people really believed it. I really do. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it gets old some days. It really does. Some days, whoops, I got to do the right one here. Hit the wrong button there. I need to get rid of that button anyway. Alrighty. Where were we? Where's the next riot? Let me see. Black Lives Matter riots vandalize Portland church. Get used to it. When you sit at home, you get used to it. That's what happens. Dead serious. That's what happens. Honestly, I don't understand. I really don't understand how people could just sit by and watch it happen. I mean, in the elections, and look, I don't mean to sit here and bitch and moan about it, but when during the elections, it was so disappointing. You're working your tail off, and you're trying. You think you're getting people involved. It's just lip service. So I want everybody to look back. But let me say, I guess be about 90 years, 85, 90 years in the 30s, when Hitler was doing his thing. They took over the schools. Sound familiar? The thing, the socialists started taking over, and people like some of my friends, hard to call them friends when they don't do anything, like some of my friends just say, it'll get better, don't worry about it, things will change. That's exactly where they were. And what happened? that was the end of Germany for a while. I mean, he started a war, the whole thing. That's probably what will happen here. And for you people out there, I like to make things real. I got my friends here who spent time in the service, and I mean this sincerely. We go to VFW. I have such a respect for the people that are there because they gave their time. There were a lot of career people that go there, and they went. They gave their time and their selves to their country, and I've actually had some of them give me big hugs and stuff like that for what I do, and say thank you. Because I tell them, is like, I wasn't in Vietnam like a lot of you guys were, but this is my way of serving my country. And every once in a while, you get somebody that's like, wow, man, that's awesome. And those same people always, it's really interesting. A lot of them just want to walk away. I think a lot of them are irritated because there's so many people out there that won't do anything. They want somebody else to do it. I've never been a fan of war, ever. But if I had to go, I'd do it. I mean, this is a war. Right now, we're in a war. Remember that. We are in a war. Everybody should remember that. We are in a war right now. Drop your weapon or else. Eric Swalwell, a sitting U.S. congressman, wrote an article about gun control and the forcible confiscation of weapons from American citizenry. This sparked an angry debate in which Swalwell tweeted, "An armed citizenry doesn't stand a chance against the nuclear-armed United States military." The biggest scare I have with all this, honestly, are how many people obey orders without thinking. Ronnie, you swore to an oath to the Constitution first, and I know you well enough to know that if you had orders that were not, if they were unlawful orders, I know you'd look at them and say, "I'm sorry, I can't follow that order, sir." Would that be about right? Any military veteran would say that. It's the vaccine that says okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm reading some of the comments here. I like that. If the vaccine kills you, do they say you die from COVID? Well, honestly, I mean, I'm not gonna read all this, but I mean, I'm reading now, but it's really interesting because what are people gonna do? I mean, what are people gonna do? I would hope that people would get together, but why are we waiting that long? That's my point. One of the things, I mean, I meant no offense to Candace earlier, but if you elect the right people, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You don't have to worry about what they're doing because you voted for the right people. But honestly, when you voted for Trump, you knew he's doing the right thing. You still kept tabs on him. But when you vote for people like Ann Wagner and Blaine Luetkemeyer and Billy Long and some of these other ones, they're enjoying the club. Their lives are set. They are done. Ronnie, Billy Long is gonna do well for the rest of his life. He did well anyway. But he's going to do well for the rest of his life. He will be a star. He's a star now and be a star then. Because people just, oh, you made it. They make stars out of these people. I never understood that. They make stars out of people that do bad jobs. Nancy Pelosi's a star. You may not like her. She's a star. Roy Blunt is a star. People, one of the things I talked to one of my political friends, and the one thing he said he liked about me the most was that I didn't really have Google eyes for these people. Like, wow, look who you are. I couldn't care less. They're people that represent. These are people that work for us. I don't think people remember that. They work for us and they forget it. We forget this all the time. How can you forget who works for you? I am not a nice person to work for. You're either going to do what I ask or I'm going to find somebody else to do it. That's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. Why are you voting for people? Well, whatever. You don't care who works for you. That's what it amounts to. Correct, and we know that the current military leadership is now trying to purge conservative military to bolster military action. And what they're saying by that, what he's saying is that they're looking at the military because they have a bunch of the people on top are political whores. That would be correct, I know. And they are looking for weak people that will do the job. Weak-minded. They want liberals there. They want them to go into wherever they got to go and do what they do. A good conservative person is going to say, I'm sorry, I will not follow those orders because those are illegal orders. That's what you have to say. Now, it's real easy. It's real easy. I want everybody to hear this. It's real easy to tell somebody else that and say, well, that's what I would do. How many people are wearing a mask? I got to tell you a story. Yesterday, Wendy and I were at a Home Depot. And there was a gentleman in a cart, older gentleman, even older than me, and in a cart, and obviously he has physical issues. But he's there with the mask on. He says to Wendy, he says, we don't have mask on. He says, I don't need to wear this mask. He goes, no, you don't wear it. He took it off right there. He goes, I hate this damn thing. He says, I thought I had to. Because there's signs all over the door. We say, hell no, we don't wear masks. And another older gentleman back there. And there were actually a few people there yesterday didn't have masks on, which I was really glad to see. But it was interesting because we got into a talk and they're like, and we gave them cards for real Republicans. They're interested. We don't know what's going to happen, but they're interested. You are right, Charlie. That's the best way of putting it. We are in the worst kind of war, the war from within. That's exactly what it is, the war from within. And when you get that, now I know some of you people, I'm reading this because some people can't see the other ones here. Nations aren't taken down by outside enemies generally. Maybe in World War II they were. Empires are taken down by the very people within the empire. So, like right now, we are an empire. Well, but we're almost done. I mean, really, we didn't become an empire probably until Second World War or whatever. Maybe the Industrial Revolution, Second World War, whatever. But bottom line is we weren't really a power until then, when we went in and won World War II. Good morning, Mr. Keith. Congratulations, Keith. At least some of the people, at least they got it right in your county. Except I understand you have that. Hey, by the way, is that tax increase, is that the one that they were begging for when I was at the meeting? I'm just curious. I went to a meeting and, I go other places. Of course, I'm never busy. Oh, yeah, right. Is that the meeting it was? Where they wanted to build they wanted to build a jail and a new court building, and it was really cool. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is going to be great. And then I asked a question because this guy had a really cool, really good, sales job, and I asked him the simple questions like, so what taxes are you going to pull so people pay for this? And he looked at me with three heads, and like I had three heads, and it's like, what? Remember what police and NG did to citizens in New Orleans in the aftermath of her? Yeah, they can scoot you out pretty quickly. It's really interesting. That's just it. Because let's be honest, people are compliant. They say they're not, but if they show up at your door and they say, we have 25 SWAT officers out here, you need to give us your weapons, you're kind of left with very little choice. That's my whole point. That is the text. That's what I thought, Charlie. So they got what they wanted. So now they can sell that building to somebody relatively cheap, right? One of their buddies. Isn't that how it usually works? Yeah. Hey, in Jefferson County, we have a health. Keith, too bad you're not here. In Jefferson County, we have a health department out of control. They're buying land at $100,000 an acre. There's no building on it. This is not New York City. This is not St. Louis City. I mean, unbelievable. But they paid over $100,000. They paid $100,000 an acre for it. Haven't put a building up. And then now they're renting. Linda was on earlier. They're actually renting an old shop and save to give vaccines, and nobody's coming. That's what they're doing. So you need to move down here and help this health department. No, next year we're going to usher a lot of these out. I think there's 3 of them up for election, and one of them votes with us, but he doesn't say anything. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't say anything. You know what? When I vote for somebody, this is what I try to explain to them. When I vote for somebody, I expect them to stand up for me. The whole point of being elected is that you vote pretty much the way your constituents want, and you stand up for your constituents. And if you have a problem, you go back. Yeah, there is money laundering at Jefferson County Health Department, no doubt about it. That was the only bright spot was Keith. Well, congratulations, Keith, really. When's your first meeting? And by the way, do you have the same liberals on the health board problem that we have here? And see, this is what happens, everyone, for you so-called conservatives. While you got your head in the sand and you're doing everything but paying attention to what's going on, and you're certainly not running for office, the liberals are looking at you like you're idiots, which I have to agree with them. What? And the reason is because they're taking over all these positions, and you're standing by doing nothing. Our country goes down in tubes. Everything happens on the 20th. Okay. A week from today. There you go. By the way, Keith, are there 5 people on that board? And if there is, how many of them are fellow conservatives? Just curious. It's all about that because right now, the liberals have done everything they can. That's why Keith went on the health board. He saw what was happening. That's why we were trying to get people on the school board. We saw what was happening. Well, if he doesn't, Charlie, we're going to go down and visit Keith and take him out to pasture, and we'll fix him. Don't worry about that, Charlie. I'm not worried about Keith. Keith's there for the right reason. Yeah, well, that's just it. And that's part of it, too. Part of the thing that happens, too, is when people get elected, then all of a sudden they don't talk to the people that got them there. And I will be honest with you. If we help get someone there, and they don't answer to us, and here's something else I want to tell everybody, too. When you are elected, say Republican, Democrat, whatever, you are there to represent your constituents. Now, let me explain constituents. The constituents that got you there. Because there were people in your district or whatever it is that don't want you there. They still don't want you there, and they're going to be a pain in the ass to you. You don't represent those people. I don't care what they say. Because they want you out. They don't like what you're doing. I mean, would we want Donald Trump to represent liberals? I don't think so. We know what's best. So we expect Keith to stand up, and I'm sure Keith will. Hey, Keith, Charlie, if Keith's learned anything from you and I, it's called stand up and say your stuff. Don't take any grief. And the biggest thing is, and this is the number one thing for anybody in office, really, if you are doing the right thing for the people that got you there, they're going to be happy with you. You're the only conservative that won. See, there you go. Am I right about this now? On all these boards, please understand, this is why, as time goes on, we're going to get more and more organized with real Republicans. It takes time. It does. But we need to know who's running for office. We need to know who we can support. We need to get conservatives on all these things because right now the liberals own all these. They own the health boards. They own the school boards. You name it. They've done the job. And you know what we own? Bitching and moaning. That's what we own. We're the biggest complainers on the planet. We are. Biggest complainers. Don't even pay attention to what's going on. Then you go, well, we got to vote them out. The brightest thing comes out of a lot of conservatives about this is why I don't like getting attacked by liberals. I attack Republicans by far more than I do liberals. You know what? And I know, and by the way, the reason my show isn't as popular as other people's shows is because if you attack liberals, then you really are on the right side. See, because I'm attacking those other people, and those other people are bad. Let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. Let's talk about all these people. I want to clean up my own house. You know, I'll give you, for instance, you know, you go next door, and you look at say you got a neighbor next door, and there's garbage all over the place. And you're going, wow, I wish he'd clean his house up. But you have garbage all over the place. Yes, but I'm not worried about my house. I'm worried about theirs. That's where we are. All bond issues pass. In Ozark, the $12.5 million bond issue for building, renovating fire stations, a training center, and buying firefighting equipment passed 57%. You know something? The voters are stupid. I don't know how in the world those firemen before ever made it through without having all the different things that they have now. How did they do that? There you go. In Ozark, 57% of the people passed it. That's what they did. They passed it. Ronnie, when I used to live down there, I'd drive through the areas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how it works, and you see this here too. You remember the days you drive by and you see a fire station or whatever, and a little older, but it was okay. Now, those days are over. Now, all fire stations have to be new. That's where we are now. They all need training centers. They all need bigger and better equipment. They all need workout centers. Oh, this is getting more fun. They need to have mowing services and all the rest of the maintenance services to maintain the grass and everything else that's there, even though a lot of the firefighters sit in the firehouse and read and run another business. I'm dead serious about this. And we got to have a bigger firehouse. That's where we are. We have to have a bigger ambulance center. Oh, yeah, that's what we got to have. A bigger one. And we got to have more ambulance. There's one ambulance place out in Festus that they have 2 trucks. They got 4 bays. They bought this building. They have 4 bays. They remodeled, of course. Can't have it the way it is. They remodeled the building. Okay, fine. And they have a full-time mechanic. So my question was, if they have 2 ambulances going and both of them are gone, first of all, let's start over. Why do they have a full-time mechanic? Don't you need a mechanic when something breaks down? Do these things break down every day? Maybe he's doing maintenance every day. What happened? I mean, this is stupid. Well, I think we need to buy a third one so the mechanic's got something to do and he can work on the third one. Then if something happens, you got to say, this is what we need. This is where we're going right now. Why don't we go ahead and have 10 of them there? I mean, really, it gets ridiculous. And then you go to the damn county assessor's office and you complain about how high your taxes are. I've seen it. I got a friend that's the assessor in Jefferson County. I was there one time when the guy was complaining about his taxes. He says, it's higher than last year. He goes, I didn't see where it went up. And I said, well, and Bob said, well, the voters voted that. He goes, I didn't vote it. I wanted to ask, did you vote? He probably didn't even vote. Every emergency, call police, ambulance, and fire respond. Well, first off, hey, veteran, down in your area, do they have the same building for fire and ambulance, or is it two separate buildings? I'm curious. I'm dead serious about this. Why do we need all this stuff? Why do we need all these brand new these fire buildings and ambulance buildings and all this new equipment? Especially in areas, there's a lot of areas where they have more equipment they know what to do with. They never use the equipment. Or they use the equipment once a year. I mean, really, there's some places where if they use the equipment, they go to another place. They go to another city. It's ridiculous. But you know what? If the voters are dumb enough to vote for it, they deserve it. They deserve the high taxes. They deserve the no representation, taxation with no representation. You know, right now, this is where we are. We have the unions, people. We have the union. Different buildings. That's what I thought. Here's one for you. If the fire department and the ambulance department go to the same one, why are they leaving from two different buildings? You know, we grew up with a show called Emergency. Remember that? And the fire department and the ambulance were in the same building. Great camaraderie, the whole thing. They all knew each other. Now we have separate buildings. Oh, yes. Why? Why do we have that? I understand sometimes the fire department goes somewhere and the ambulance. They don't have to go together, but a lot of times they do. If there's a fire, a lot of times the ambulance goes. Why are they in different buildings? I'm asking legislators. I'm asking, why are they in different buildings? Tell me why. I want to know why. Yeah, I go through some of these ghost towns, off of Highway 60 down in your area there. And I would see these old towns that, by the way, the reason they're ghost towns pretty much, they got a few things in there, is because they used to have factories down there, and the factories moved to another country. So the people in these little towns that depend on this factory, they close the factory, and the area becomes desolate. It becomes empty. That's what happens. They're not even centrally located. You're right. You know what? I really don't get it. I really don't get it. Why in the world would they do that? It's like they just spent over $700,000 to buy acreage in Jefferson County here for the Jefferson County Health Department, and Hillsborough is way the hell out there. It's where the least amount of people are. If you go just what would be north of them, not north, be west of them, there's nothing there really. There really isn't. No offense to you people over in House Springs, but there's not much there. It's not centrally located. So the health department goes out the middle of nowhere. It doesn't make a difference. We found it. And this is what we're getting. This is your government. You keep voting them in, but hey, you know what? Perry County, you got a good start with Keith there. I wish we had it. Why do you think I'm so adamant about people getting involved next year, having 30 people from real Republicans running for offices everywhere? That would be unbelievable. Let me see, at the rate money's coming in, though, if you have to spend more than $1 for the campaign were in trouble. That's okay. Hey, don't worry about it. That way they can sell their souls to the lobbyists. I was going to do that. I didn't get a chance to do it. I was going to go through some of the politicians' MEC reports and give you a list of all the different. You have no idea how many lobbies there are. You have no idea. No idea. It's unbelievable how many lobbies there are out there. And if you look at the more successful politicians, the ones that like to go up to the next level, not all, but most, they got more lobbyists than they know what to do with. I'm looking in here now for something. They got the lobbies everywhere. Oh God, yes. I'm serious. If you people, this is where, you know what? I forgot to do this. I'm thinking about it just now. When I want to start teaching what is really going on. Now, I do this on the show, don't get me wrong, but a little more structured. And the reason I'm saying this is because people don't know what the Missouri Ethics Commission is. And I'll give you a quick explanation. If you are running for office or if you want to have a political action committee, you have to register with, this is in Missouri, you have to register with the state of Missouri. And what they do is they supposedly are to keep elections honest. Good luck with that one. But they are really supposedly in charge of doing that. But you have to register if you spend over a certain amount of money. Now, in most elections, you spend over that amount of money. You have to report who gave you the money. You have to report what they do for a living. If they're retired or if they happen to be a CEO, whatever. It's important. Now, I actually like looking at those things. I'm weird. But you got to understand, there's a lot of people out there who have these committees, and they're making buku bucks. I mean, they got money coming out like you wouldn't believe. They really do. And the PACs, if they have a lot of PACs, which is political action committees, you can almost bet that they're for sale. They're for sale. You know, I can look up some of these people I know. And by the way, if you looked up my friend Jim Neely, I think he got so little money from PACs it wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny. I'm looking right now at Dan Schall's, and I want you to hear this, okay? I just picked out one. Were there any individuals? Let's see. Let me see. Missouri Dental Political Action Committee. Missouri Independent Bankers Association. Now, why would they do that? Why would they give money? Because they want legislation passed favorable for what they want. That's what they're doing. Missouri Petroleum Market. Now, you may be getting bored with this, but these are the people they sell to. That's what, they say they represent you. No. They represent these people. Missouri Petroleum Marketers, Cheyenne International, Missouri Bev PAC, Capital Solutions Consulting, Mila PAC, MBA Gateway Region, and MAPAC. That's Dan Schall. Yeah. How you like that? Not a bad deal, huh? And I could go on and on and on. And that's the problem we got. That's the problem we got. Let's try 2020. Because by 2020, that's when they're really getting a lot of money. So let's go ahead and look at the July report here. That's one of the later ones in 2020. And what you'll see he doesn't ask anybody for money. He doesn't. He's already sold himself. So while you're voting for him, you're giving him votes to represent you. He's representing the PACs. Oh, isn't that great? Isn't that great? Yeah, Dave was on his show. Well, here we go. Now, this is really interesting. You got the Poll PAC. You got Missouri Realtors PAC. You got the Credit Union PAC. And here's one, Pharmacist PAC of Missouri. I remember when my friend was running for governor, and they were the clowns. Oh, absolutely! These clowns are giving these groups are giving money. Yes, that's who they work for. This is who you're. This is what I've been trying to say for years. This is exactly who your representatives work for. Don't ever think they work for you. Don't ever think that, because that is not who they work for. They work for them. They couldn't care. Why do you think he's got such an attitude? Yes, that's how it works. Oh yeah. Hey, we're a PAC. We're a PAC. We actually didn't give them money, but we can. It's unbelievable. I've been looking at here. So far, I have not seen. And here's something else that's really good. You like this? He gave money to the Missouri GOP. Oh, that's for the filing fee. Oh, no. And the women legislators of Missouri. You like that? They give money to other PACs. Oh, how does it feel to feel like you're getting screwed royally? This just goes on and on and on. This is how it works. So far, I have not mentioned one person's name because I'm looking at his reports. Not one person. He works for the PACs. That's who they work for. I'm telling you, folks, that's who they work for. And when they work for the PAC, that's who they represent. Look, one more here, and then I'll quit. All right, here's some more here. You ready? Missouri Coin Operators Association. I wonder what legislation is going to help with them. Stand Up Missouri. Not sure what that is. St. Louis Area Hotel Association PAC. There you go. Build St. Louis PAC. Wow, there's actually one. Oh, no wonder. The owner of of Home Service Oil. There you go. He must want some legislation done. Here, Highland Dairy General Manager gave him money. These are all businesses that they work really hard for. Jim, I wish you were here to watch this, because Jim would be, Jim Neely was being accused of wanting to make a deal. He said, you know what, instead of us making our pharmaceuticals in China, I would like to have it here in Missouri. We could love to find a company that would come to Missouri and make their pharmaceuticals here. This is a man that didn't take money from anybody. And what does he get accused of by the loony Son of McDowell people? Well, that means he's in bed. He wants money from the AMA. Well, 8 years he never had any. He didn't want any. It didn't make a difference. So I could do this all day long, but it's what they do. This is just one person. One person. I'm going to look at one other person, and there's a reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to look at one other person. Don't get bored with me here, because this is politics. If you want headlines, go watch somebody's show who's a hero. I'm trying to find heroes. This show is about getting heroes. It really is. Okay, we're going to go here, and I want to look at something. Let me get this real quick, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. This is a gentleman who I'm very good friends with. And when I look for his reports, I'm going to look on here and see how many PACs and how many individuals. He got most of his money by individuals. And he acted like that. He actually represented the individuals. That's what he did. That's what you have to look for. And he's almost everybody here that I'm looking at are individuals. Individuals! That's Paul Kurtman, by the way. Paul Kurtman got it from the people that he represented. He wanted their votes, and he said, if you vote for me, I will represent you. I will make sure the legislation is for you. But what we have now, and look, I have to be honest with you. If you don't give to real Republicans, I'm probably not, I may be nice to you, I'm not a liar, though. I'm going to look at you and say, you know what? You need to start bucking up, buddy, instead of expecting everybody else to pay your way. But I'm expecting that the people that we represent, that we are endorsing, that they actually are supporting, that they're doing what we're asking. All the people in Real Republicans, that's it. Now, if you're not giving your time or money to Real Republicans, I'll be honest with you, you don't mean as much, and that's just real life. You may not like it. If you're running for office, and I'll give you for instance how it works. If you're running for office, let's say Elizabeth, I know you do. You're a good doer. You do well. But let's say Elizabeth, you're running for office, and you are funding your campaign, and you got other people funding your campaign. I want to know how you feel about this. And all of a sudden, you get somebody that starts coming to your meetings or something like that, and they start making demands. Well, I want you to vote for this. I want you to vote for that. It's human nature. Tell me what you think. It's human nature to say, let me see, you never give any money to my campaign. You come in here and tell me how to do something. You're not going to, I'm sorry, you're not going to have that voice that you want to have. You may want to vote, and you can't even guarantee. You know what? It's almost like not always, but if you give somebody money, you're going to vote for them. You want that person to make it. That's what you want. That's real life. And so anybody who thinks that's not real isn't being real. That's the bottom line. Isn't it funny though? I went into Paul Kurtman's here, and by the way, this is all. Anybody looks at it, it's really interesting because we are actually looking for people who like to spend time on a computer. You know what? Here's one for you people who are in Real Republicans who don't want to give your time or money. You can start giving your time by going in here and doing research for us. And instead of playing Facebook, getting Facebook pissed off headlines, you can go in here and start doing this so we can build reports. And then we can even go through legislation. You can actually find out what these people are doing, how they sponsor, co-sponsor. Actually, I think most people really need to get a civics class anyway and learn more about what's going on. It really is. Yes, buck up and let's see some action. That's what it amounts to. Anybody, Elizabeth was out there working. Anybody can, and I get this all the time. Look, I give my time and money like Linda and Wendy, some other people. A lot of people do. You give your time and money. I take offense to people who don't show up with their time or money, but show up at a meeting. We had somebody at a meeting who said, well, we need to stop calling ourselves Republicans. I said, well, the name of this group is called Real Republicans. Well, I don't like that. The door's over there. I'm sorry, the door's over there. That's it. The problem with my job, honestly, is I'm going to say a lot of things that people don't like, and I understand that, but that's too bad. That's just, if you don't like it, oh well. That's how it is. By the way, I saw something yesterday. I wonder if I got an answer from my friend Jason. Here we go. He gave it to me. Branson still has a mask mandate. So that means people need to wear masks when they're up and moving around. But once they are seated in social distance, then they can remove their mask. We did just elect a new mayor and 3 new aldermen. They are being sworn in today. They are planning on rescinding the mandate today, if possible. If they can't pull that off, then a schedule end of May anyway. Once the mandate is lifted, we won't require masks. Obviously, if people want to wear them, they are welcome. Some of our employees still wear them for now if they are handling food. There you go. Thank you, Jason. See, you ask and you get what you want. See, that's from a big star in Branson. He's got to come on the show sometime. These are good people. Jason and I did a tea party together. Were you there, Ronnie? I don't know if you were there or not. We did a tea party many years ago in there. Yeah, So supposedly what Jason said, they're having their first meeting today, and if they can rescind it, they're going to do it today. They should be able to rescind it. I believe they can. It's called executive order. Hey, do a Biden. Just do executive order. In fact, I got to tell him that. Just tell the mayor to do a Joe Biden and do an executive order and end the mask mandate today. LOL. Got to correct something here. Give me a second here, folks. Let me finish this real quick and almost done here. Just bear with me here. I shouldn't be doing this while I'm doing this show, but oh well. Whoop. Gotta spell it right. Okay. There you go. There you go. The Hughes brothers are awesome. You know what? I gotta tell you a story here for those of you who don't know this story. When I was doing radio down in Springfield, I went down to Branson to interview the stars. And I was doing political radio, but I still thought this would be fun to do. So I went down there, and I had all our remote equipment with me, and I went to the Haygood Theater, and we set up, and it wouldn't work. And here we are, getting ready to go on live radio, and we don't have any way of doing it. So we're working with a bunch of stars, Tony Roy and the Haygoods and the Hughes brothers and some others. And anyway, we brought out a phone and put it on speakerphone, and I did my interviews on radio through a speakerphone. It was really cool because since these guys were all everybody's performers, none of them were upset, and they all laughed, and we had a great time. And I got to be good friends with the Hughes brothers. I'm trying to remember who gave me. Oh, I actually interviewed one of the Osmonds too. Not Donnie. One of the other ones. I forgot. My ex had a crush on him. That's all I know. But anyway, I interviewed the Osmonds. It was a fun time. But here we are. We're at a table and we have a speakerphone and we're talking to speakerphone. It was interesting, but it worked well. It was fun. What law do you break if you don't wear a mask? Ask a cop. I don't know. I'm going to tell you something else too about you'll like this about the Hughes brothers, Elizabeth, and everybody else. I was a Ron Paul fan back in 2012, and so were the Hughes brothers. Well, in 2016, I was still living in, is that right? Yeah. No, 20, yeah, that's right. They were not, that's right. That's when Mitt Romney was running, 2012. That's when Mitt Romney was running against Ron Paul. And the Hughes brothers are Mormons because two of the brothers have I think one's got 16 kids, the other one's got 13 or 14 kids. And they're real Mormons, believe me. But they're as nice as can be, down to earth as can be. And they were not Mitt Romney fans at all. And of course, Mitt Romney is a Mormon. And everybody thinks you stick together. They didn't stick with them. They were not Mitt Romney fans. So, and they were big Donald Trump fans too. So, no, we think politically, and they just come on my show and we talk politics. And maybe I'll do that next week. Maybe I'll see if I can get them on next week because they're great people. They really are. In fact, when you go down in Branson, most of the shows down there, they're fairly conservative. That's why here's what they did though. This is what happens, everybody. When conservatives sit on their asses and don't do anything, the liberals run in there and say, I'll run the show. They do it in the health department, they do it in schools, they do everywhere, and conservatives sit by and they go, wow, how's this going on? Because we don't do our jobs. We are not good citizens when it comes to making sure things go the way they should. That's a problem we got. So, it is what it is. Anyway, Ron Paul. You're a Ron Paul fan too, weren't you, Charlie? But, it's really interesting because I like Rand Paul. I like both of them. And people wanted Ted Cruz and all that in the last, in 2016. I was with Donald Trump from the day one when he joined, when he said, I'm doing this. And there are still Ted Cruz fans out there who are the Bible-toting idiots of the world. Sorry, they just are. And they still think Trump is horrible. They're anti-Trumpers. There's a lot of Ted Cruz fans, but I like Cruz. He was all right, but you know what? He was not ready for prime time anyway, and we had the best president in my lifetime that was elected in 2016. How do we go from a horrible president to the best president ever to even a worse president than even Barack Obama? I mean, Barack Obama was bad, but compared to, Joe Biden is just the absolute pits. He's the worst I've ever seen. Really is. So I'm glad you like Hughes Brothers. So you know what? And I plan on going down there as soon as the mask mandate. Let's all go down to Branson and have a big party. How's that? We could do it. Why not? People may show up there. Actually, I want to get down and see my friends down in Southwest Missouri anyway. I lived down there for 9 years, everybody, and I had a great time and met some really great people. Legislation has not made a law that has been announced. All laws start on, well, I think it depends on a few things. No, laws start when it says so. I was on the Trump train way before he announced he was running for president. I knew he'd be a great one. See, those of us with great foresight knew that. Those of you that, here's just it. A lot of people did not recognize a great leader. As soon as I saw Trump, I saw someone with a huge potential to be a great leader. And I was right. But many in the Republican Party, the drive-bys, a lot of them eventually joined. But a lot of them are still drive-bys. They're still, you know what? There are a lot of people still that say, well, Trump was a good president, but I think it's time to move on from Trump. Really? They say that it's time to move on from Trump because I think Trump is a great president, and I just think I think we need to just move forward. It's exactly what they're doing. I want to, you know what? If Trump is still ready to run in 2024, I'm there. And I'll bet you most of the people are. But let me tell you right now, you might be there for Trump. This is where every person listening today better get their act together. We need to get rid of the losers in the legislatures on all levels. I'm talking, look, we're Republicans. We need to get rid of every loser that says they're Republican. Dan Shaw, Mary Elizabeth Coleman. We can go on a state level. There's so many we need to make sure that never win. Never. Yes, went from first to worst doing a fraudulent election. You're right. But Charlie, am I right? Well, you and I have been around for a while. If we don't get started now by getting rid of Ann Wagner and Blaine Luetkemeyer and all these other people, Jason Smith actually is a pretty good one. You probably have the best one in Missouri, right? Best U.S. congressman in our state. Ann Wagner's horrible, and but people are going, who's going to run against her? We have so many qualified people. Well, we want to get rid of Ann Wagner. Who's going to run? We have so many qualified people, and they're all bitching and moaning, and I want some of them to stand up. I mean, you know what? Maybe I'd have talked to, remember the story I told you? Nikki Haley. Let me tell you right now why I'm alive. Nikki Haley will never win a presidency. Chrissy Noam will. There's a few other women that have a much better chance. Nikki Haley has already shown that she's the biggest sellout out there. There's no doubt. So Nikki Haley says she won't run for president if Trump runs in 2024. Another backstabber. Those are the people we don't want in the party, isn't it? Those aren't real Republicans. We want real Republicans. We don't want the phonies. I'm sick of phony Republicans. But this is where we start. Everybody watching this show right now needs to get together. And Carl, you need to get your butt to these meetings too. You need to get your butt on here and start doing some of this stuff. You have to. A politically correct Supreme Court. We will get what it deserves if court is expanded. Oh my God. You're right. There should be, you know what? Here's what's worse. There's no such thing as politically correct. It's called lean to the left. The definition of diversity is do what the left tells you. The definition of politically correct is do what the left tells you. That's what we need. That's exactly what we need. We really don't need, we don't need anything like that right now. You saw those losers I showed you in some of the videos there? Those losers are going to be the ones running your cities. It's going to be too late while everybody sits on their couch and ignores the news. I want everybody to start watching the news as hard as it is. I want you to get so incensed and pissed off, you go, we can't take this anymore. Remember the movie Network? I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore. That's where everyone needs to be. And what gets me is after the election, unlike what our little friend said from the Republican Club, you're not mad as hell. Because when I'm mad, I do something. Here's something here. I always have heard, and I don't believe this anymore, I've always heard that the difference between men and women is that men are solution-oriented. Now, I am. I don't see that. I think most men are wusses. I do. Most males, they're not even men. Most males are wusses. Do you know how many women agree with me on that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable how many. We have so many women that are out there doing things more than men. A lot more. Yeah, Jason's, you're right. He's mediocre at best, but in our state, he's the best one. Would I be right, Charlie? Ann Wagner isn't. I can't think of any other one. He's not the greatest, but he's that's the best way to put it, mediocre at best. But you know what? Right now we can't. Yeah, we get rid of everybody, but you know what? At least we got someone up there that's doing something. You know, it's like Josh Hawley. When I was talking to my friend, he said, Josh Hawley puzzles me. One day he's standing up, and the next day he's selling out. That's what happens. We have our first fight. The health department wants me to wear a mask in the health board meeting. They want you to wear a mask. You know, Keith, what I tell people when I go into a place, they said, would you like to wear a mask? And I said, I don't like unhealthy things for my body. I don't wear unhealthy things. And I'm with you, Keith. I wouldn't wear a mask. No, you're full of crap. I'm not wearing one. The people, you know what? The people, here you go, Keith. The people that voted me in said, we want us to be there. I represent those constituents who say, don't wear a mask. Hey, we'll get up there and protest for you. How's that? Keep the gender neutral rhetoric. We need to get rid of the idiots in the white. Well, you know what? This is my point, everyone. We need to start locally. We need to start locally, and we've already done that. We've already failed. See, this is it. Oh, we got to do this. We failed at this. We got to do that. We failed at this. We have to get off our asses. We're failing at getting people off their asses. That's where we're failing. And until we do, nothing's going to change. Nothing. All right. I'm going to change. I'm getting out of here. I got things to do, places to go, and actually I do have a life besides this. But a lot of times my life, and Wendy would tell you, I spend a lot of time in this computer doing things for real Republicans. I would like to go up and visit some of my friends up in Jefferson City so they know what we're doing here. But you know something? if we don't have the time and money, and I'm telling you right now, I'm starting to get really irritated with some of the people, real Republicans. I want to see some people, I really mean this, I'm really getting mad about it. I want to see some, because this is not going to be a few people that are going to fund this all the time. I want to see some people start help funding real Republicans, because I lose patience in this. I really do. You know, it's really sad when people from other areas that don't even live here, are funding it more than the people that live in Jefferson County. Now, they know we're going to their area, and we've done some stuff. But when the very people of Jefferson County are complaining about their representatives, you know, whether it be in state government or local government or whatever, if you're not going to take care of it, who is? That's just it. We can't even show up to vote. That's sad. Sorry. Okay, everybody. I think I'm done for the day. Thanks so much for listening, watching, whatever you did. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
You can't quit. And why not? Like you're fired. You can't fire me. Why not? Did you quit?
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Sherman, forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
Thanks. I needed that.